The Freedom from Religion Foundation is proud to annually bestow about $125,000 a year in scholarships to free-thinking students through our essay competitions, tuition relief scholarships, and activist awards. We host 5 separate essay contests each year for students, including one open to all college-bound high school seniors, one for all ongoing college students, one devoted just for Black, Indigenous students of color, one for grad students, and one for law students. We're pleased to have 3 of our impressive essay winners here today to read their winning essays. I'll introduce them one at a time in order of their appearance. Our first student speaker is Rita Nyamkimah, who won $3,500 for her essay, which placed first in our essay contest for BIPOC students. Rita is 18. She served as student representative in the Red Clay School District Student Advisory Council, as well as president of the Black Student Union at her high school in Delaware. She is pursuing a degree in health sciences under the pre-med program as a first-year student at St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia. Her ultimate goal is to become a psychiatrist and to provide essential mental health services to underserved communities. In her spare time, she is a photographer who has documented the lives of young Black people and the Black youth culture in her community. Rita's winning essay is titled "Gods of Their People." Let's welcome her to the stage.
Hi, hope everyone can hear me properly. This essay is titled Gods of Our People, well, Gods of Their People. The influence of Christianity on my parents' home countries is nearly unavoidable, and I found myself continually grappling with this reality as I grew more interested in my heritage. I've been robbed of the unadulterated experience of my own culture as a result of the harrowing legacy of colonialism. And in eastern Nigeria, Catholicism became the dominant force after the war. There was a long and horribly bloody civil war that aided in the genocide of the Igbo people for multiple years. And as a result of this, many found comfort in Christianity and couldn't help but to consider how this change brought the inevitable rejection of their ancestral traditions. It's the nature of colonial Christianity to alienate its subjects from their origins in favor of a foreign God who will punish them for being themselves. Separating my culture from Christianity became a daunting task. After all these years, Christianity is such a deeply ingrained part of Nigeria and Nigerian culture that in trying to gain a better understanding, I had met a painful irony. In seeking to deepen my cultural connection, I would have to become further alienated from my community, as being Christian had now become synonymous with being from it. Even though our religious practices had predated the arrival of missionaries by thousands of years, they had been dismissed to the margins of societal consciousness after a few centuries of colonization. Our native beliefs were suddenly overshadowed and now only relegated to being spoken of in hushed tones and disapproving whispers. My own struggles with religion and culture have made me deeply committed to maintaining cultural integrity. Understanding how critical it is to preserve our indigenous customs and stories, I sought information from our pre-colonial history. Having tangible records of our history is the last resort in preserving our cultural practices so they're not lost to the sands of time. Ultimately, my journey of self-discovery and cultural reclamation has led me to embrace a more nuanced understanding of my identity, one that acknowledges the multifaceted influences that have shaped me as a person. While the legacy of Christianity remains a part of my heritage in ways that I have no control over, I've found solace in embracing a much more humanist approach, as our relationships with each other as human beings hold far more weight than any duty to a great omniscient force far in the cosmos. Thank you.
Our second student speaker is Ivy Nichols, age 17. Ivy just graduated from her high school in Greeley, Colorado, and is attending Colorado State University. She has volunteered in the children's section at her local library, including making craft kits. She has crocheted bears for children affected by HIV/AIDS. She recently interned at an immigrant and refugee center. This spring, she held an unpaid internship on a Democrats' campaign for the House of Representatives. One of her main goals is to study abroad, with Morocco as her first choice and Jordan as a second, so that she can learn Arabic and gain exposure to different cultures. Ivy plans to study Middle Eastern and North African studies. She won $1,000 for her essay in our competition for college-bound high school seniors. Her winning essay is titled "One Less Barrier."
A glance into the values of religious nuns reveals the potential of this growing demographic to build a more inclusive, adaptable society. Whether the beliefs of nuns are described as being in support of increased secularism, abortion rights, and LGBT rights, being strongly progressive, or simply being against the sexist and racist rhetoric that is increasingly associated with the religious right, it is clear that this worldview has one characteristic: the acceptance of people and ideas that are rejected by the status quo. Research into the values and beliefs of religiously affiliated people supports the idea that this is unique to nuns. A 2023 survey by Pew Research Center asked respondents what factors played into their determination of what is right or wrong. 70% of religiously affiliated respondents said the way that they were raised helped dictate their moral decisions, as opposed to only 56% of religious nuns. This reveals that religion encourages people to accept what they are told without much questioning, a big deterrent to social and political change. Without this stationary view, religious nuns are more willing to adopt new ways of life. How religious nuns go about adopting change will also be more fact-based. When the Pew Research Center asked about attitudes towards science, 56% of nuns said science is more good than harm, and that went up to 79% among atheists, compared to only 40% of religiously affiliated respondents. In the age of climate change and technology, American society will be greatly served by a population that listens to the findings of science rather than reject them as dangerous if they don't fit with the teachings of their religion. The benefits nuns provide to society will be most evident in the cultural sphere. As an atheist myself, I know that the lack of religion positively impacts my life by making me more tolerant towards others. I don't have a religion teaching me that my worldview is the correct way of life, or that anyone who does not follow my religion is an outsider. In other words, I have one less attribute creating divisions between myself and others, which means one less barrier to having understanding and empathy for others. Paired with the secular values of upholding rights and acceptance for all, a widespread adoption of this view will lead to a less xenophobic, less conservative approach to decision-making. When religion is absent, there is one less barrier to building a more accepting society. Thank you.
Our last student speaker is Finn Mosher. Finn won $3,500 for his essay, placing first in our contest for college-bound high school seniors. Finn is 18. He graduated last spring from a high school in Walla Walla, Washington, and is attending Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, where he is studying for a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering in Daytona, Florida. Finn received the President's Volunteer Service Award for time spent as the Washington State Future Business Leaders of American Industry Relations Vice President. He was also involved in environmental activism through his school's Green Club, for which he served as treasurer. In his spare time, he enjoys hiking, backpacking, reading sci-fi, and watching movies. Finn's winning essay is called The Good Book or the Textbook, and he fought a hurricane to make it here today, so let's give him an extra round of applause.
I'd like to dedicate this speech to my good friend Ahmad Ali and all of the people of Pakistan who remind me every day of why we must fight for a secular world. From the beginning of humanity's history, our greatest attribute has been curiosity. It transformed us from forest-dwelling apes into a world-spanning civilization, took us from the deepest ocean trenches to the depths of space. However, for as long as our curiosity has uplifted us, another of humankind's tendencies has restrained our potential. Whenever we run into phenomena exceeding the capacity of our comprehension, we are instinctively inclined to explain it away with the metaphysical. This instinct, what we call religion, is an albatross around the neck of every modern, progressive society, the United States included. And the mass exodus, if you'll forgive my word choice, of youth from organized religion marks a great upturn in the fortunes of humanity. My personal history with religion illustrates in microcosm the power of its decline. Although raised atheist, I made the frankly ill-advised choice to convert to Christianity when I was 13, reverting back to atheism by 16. During my most devout phase, I had hoped to become a corporate defense attorney. Since my reversion, these ambitions have shifted, and I'm now studying to become an engineer in the field of astronautics, hoping to expand humanity's reach to the stars above us. These two phases of my life serve as a perfect contrast between the distinct mindsets of the religious and the nuns. When I was religious and pursuing law, I found comfort in the study of a preordained system, a life entirely within the known, learning the intricacies of an inscrutable box crafted by a higher authority. This mindset was complemented perfectly by religion, which told me there was no reason to attempt further understanding of the world around me. All the answers I needed were found in the Bible. Anything not contained within was not given to us to know. Now, with religion absent from my life, I want to help humanity understand all of existence, expand our limitless potential as far as it can take us. Now, I believe that nothing in this universe falls outside of the human capacity for understanding, so long as we keep our curiosity and the drive for scientific progress fierce. And it's not just me experiencing this newfound curiosity and respect for the sciences. According to Pew Research, nuns are 275% as likely as the religiously affiliated to believe in a scientific explanation for all things, even absent their current understanding, and 140% as likely to say science does more good than harm in American society. These numbers increase even further among atheists, agnostics, and the highly educated, with 7/10 of college graduates and 4/5 of atheists believing science does more good than harm. The implications of this data are tremendous. With nonism increasing among younger generations, the data predicts a drastic spike in both pursuit of and trust in the sciences. As Generation Z and beyond abandon religion, we will continue turning to science to understand the world around us. Our enduring human curiosity, the drive that's taken us so far, is finally freeing itself from the stupor of religions that told us we already knew everything. As we stare down generational crises, antibiotic-resistant bacteria, new forms of warfare, climate change, this shot in the arm to the scientific world will prove crucial in keeping humanity thriving for generations to come. Thank you.